right here on the early line. He is Donnie. I am Ben. You are listening on Sirius XM, channel 159. All of our radio terrestrial affiliates now in the fold as well. But we start in the association. Just 4 days left in this NBA regular season as of today. And yesterday, Donnie, 14 games, 28 of the 30 teams around the association in action, including what might be a potential marquee matchup and maybe a preview of the Eastern Conference Finals in Milwaukee. But last night looked a lot different than anything we might see in the playoffs, and some big news for the Bucks as well. First off, a victory, 104-91. Milwaukee wins at home and covers as a short 3.5-point favorite. Boston has already clinched their spot. No Kristaps Porzingis last night for the C's. Just the third game for Boston as an underdog all year long. So Milwaukee snaps a 4-game losing skid with a 13-point win at home. But Giannis Antetokounmpo leaves the game early with what was feared at the time to might be an Achilles injury. An update this morning, a strained calf. His timetable set to be determined for the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough scene here because you can't lose Giannis, even if it's for the first round. They might not make it through the first round because typically in the past, we set up that NBA season as it winds down. It's sort of an auto victory. First seed, second seed, easy wins over an 8 and a 7 seed. You're not getting those true 8 and 7 seeds this year. So if Giannis were to be out in that first round, you're not going to get a Bobcats matchup in the past, right? You're actually going to get a really good Philadelphia 76ers team or a Miami Heat team that's going to be rounding into form. Devastating news, but a nice win to sort of stop that skid for Milwaukee. I actually thought the Celtics were the play last night because you just can't trust them, but good win for the Bucks. Terrible result if it looks like Giannis is out for any extended period of time.
So Shams Charania of FanDuel TV did say a timetable of 1 to 2 weeks, but with calf injuries, it's a little bit tricky to pin down. We will update anything around Giannis Antetokounmpo as that becomes available. Now we go to a marquee matchup out in Los Angeles, a potential play-in preview where Golden State got the better of LA, the Lakers without Anthony Davis last night. As a team, the Warriors made 26 threes. They were 26 of 41 from deep last night. They score 134 points, and the Dubs win outright as a 2-point underdog on the road in LA.
Hey, a good win by the Warriors here. See if they can usurp, the Lakers and move ahead. But how about this? Within a half game of each other with only a few games to play, to say the least. But you know what the interesting part is? These two teams are probably going to match up in a game next week, Ben. That is going to be the winner moves on, the loser goes home between the Warriors and the Lakers. We didn't like this play-in, games a couple years ago. And even LeBron James said, this is kind of ridiculous here. Well, it saves them with a chance to get into the playoffs. But who's not going to watch that? The ratings will be awesome for Warriors-Lakers.
Last night, Steph hit 6 threes. Clay hit 5 threes. Draymond Green made 5 triples in the game as well. 63.4% was the specific field goal percentage from 3 for Golden State. That is the best three-point shooting percentage in a game in NBA history. Now an interesting game out in Phoenix. The Suns close as a 9.5-point home favorite against the LA Clippers, who had no Kawhi Leonard, no James Harden last night in the Valley. The Suns were at full health. All 3 members of the Big Three, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker, did start the game, and the Suns were down 35-4 in the opening quarter. They were down by 31 points in the first quarter. That's almost unheard of. And Phoenix continues to stumble in games they need to win. The Clippers go on the road and pull off the upset outright as a 9.5-point underdog, winning by 13.
Yeah, we weren't saying that the Clippers were going to wave the white flag in this game, but the odds makers certainly saw what was taking place and close to a double-digit favorite for Phoenix, and they got blasted. This game, I believe, was like 35-4 at one point in the first quarter. The game was over right away, but this is also what we talk about, Ben, where I tell you every day, I'm in on the Suns, I'm out on the Suns. I'm in on the Suns, I'm out on the Suns. You know what we think about today? We're out on the Suns. Unbelievable, these type of games you can have. You're supposed to win that game going away last night against the Clippers, and you got blasted at home. Tough scene.
Out, done, donezo, Finn, see you next year. The Suns now fall into the 7th spot, into the play-in tournament, because they couldn't at least win a game outright as a 9.5-point favorite. Ridiculous. Career high for Anthony Edwards last night in Minneapolis to lead the Timberwolves to a victory over the Washington Wizards. 51 points, for the Ant-Man. A big game over the Wiz. They don't cover as a double-digit favorite. However, the Timberwolves do keep pace, still tied with Denver atop the Western Conference in a battle for that number 1 overall seed.
I don't think I've been as locked into the NBA season as I am with a couple games left to play, Ben. Typically, we're just waiting for the playoffs to get here. Fast forward the final couple games. Every single game, your teams are lining up with seed advantages and disadvantages here. But also, Anthony Edwards, 51 points. Superstar.
Some other news around MLB. Jackson Holliday, the son of Matt Holliday, the former Cardinal and longtime MLBer, the number 1 prospect in the sport, called up by the Baltimore Orioles to join a young and fun team in Baltimore.
I like that, man. Bring these guys up as soon as you can. Don't worry about super free agency in 3 years. If you have a good player on a good team, bring them up. Good job.
Absolutely so. The day after the college basketball season officially closes, some big news. As expected, Kentucky freshman Rob Dillingham has declared for the NBA draft, and Tara Vanderveer, the all-time winningest head coach of Stanford women's basketball, 1,216 victories, the most ever for a Division I college basketball coach, announces her retirement. More on the early line next.